All right, this is my first review of a movie or a TV series for have Cheetah will view. This will be review number 455, and today we're looking at DC Warner Brothers series Teen Titans. This is the first of two series that came out on Cartoon Network. This series here came out in 2003. It ran for 2000 till 2006, and it consisted of 65 episodes plus one made-for-TV movie, and that was Teen Titans: Trouble in Tokyo. The voice actors on the show were Scott Menville, who played Robin, who was the leader of the team. Carrie Payton played Cyborg. Greg Sipes played Beast Boy. Garfield Logan. Tara Strong played Raven. And Hendon Walsh played Starfire. So, I really love this series, quite honestly. I'm an older fanboy, so I appreciate the seriousness of a good comic. I know, but I can also appreciate comedy, which is why I'm a fan of Teen Titans Go. I think it's completely off the rails, bonkers. I love it. It's funny, but this series here is really good. Like I said, it came out in 2003, ran for till 2006 on Cartoon Network, and it was executive produced. Part of it was from a familiar DC, people who follow the DC animated universe. The usual suspects were involved in this series: Sam Register, Glenn Murakami, Bruce Timm, and of course the legendary, and I do mean this in the highest terms, the legendary Andrea Romano was the voice director. I've stated it in my reviews on my blog that without Andrea Romano, there is no DC animated universe. She just picked the right voices for the right roles, and just did an outstanding job. I can't say enough about her. And she retired. I think she retired about 3 years ago. But her footprint will always be here. Her imprint, her legacy. These series between Teen Titans, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, you name it. She pretty much cast the whole show, and has done an amazing job. Now, what I liked about the Teen Titans this series here is, like I said before, the seriousness of it. This is not your kids' Teen Titans Go. This is aimed toward an older audience. Some could say teenagers. I dare say adult. There's a lot of adult things going on in this series. A lot of different topics were covered. Not spousal, but parental abuse, betrayal, bigotry, manipulation, bullying. All in a superhero cartoon, and it got dealt with. They didn't hide it, and there's even some death involved in it, which DC later on went on and showcased that. In fact, DC actually did that first when they did Static Shock, which is probably the first superhero series that ever addressed that issue. So they carried it on to Teen Titans, and with the death of a key character. The main protagonist that the Teen Titans tussled with, at least for the first 2 years, was Slade Wilson, who voice talents was split between Ron Perlman, who you may know as Hellboy, and Will Arnett, who has a really good superhero voice. He could do anything. He's got a real versatile voice. I like Perlman myself better. I may be biased, but Ron Perlman can do no wrong. what really made this series really unique is the fact that every every character got an arc. Um, so every season focused on one character. The first season was on Robin, as he wrestled with the leadership of the team. He's the only non-superpowered member, and so he was very self-conscious about that, and he had to push himself all that much harder to prove himself. So so he did, and sometimes his eagerness to showcase his skills and his leadership got the team in trouble. Um, but growing up, that's to be expected. But on the playing field that the Teen Titans were at, well, that could lead to some real tragedy. Season 2 focused on Slade Wilson and Tara. Tara was a character that Slade Wilson had taken underneath his wings, and he had her join the Titans after they had sort of like pushed her aside because her developing powers were uncontrollable and they couldn't trust her. So she left the team and then later came back to it with her powers under control. Her and Beast Boy became very close very quickly. And sadly, at the end of season 2, well, things happened and Tara wasn't with the team anymore. Season 3 focused on Cyborg and how he adjusted to his own problems. Victor Stone was a young man who basically got caught in an explosion and suffered a loss of pretty much all his limbs, legs, and an arm, and an eye. So it was very hard for him at times to make the adjustment. Raven and Starfire, well, actually, season 4 was Raven, and Raven was a being from another dimension whose father was Trigon, who was a demon, and Raven is the only one that could hold him in check. And her father was always trying to manipulate her into letting go of her control and allowing him to come into our world where he would destroy it. So that's a lot of pressure to put on a 16-year-old. Raven was actually the oldest of the Teen Titans. I think that Cyborg was supposed to be about 15 in this series, though in the comics he was a little older. Season 5 focused on Beast Boy and included his origins with the Doom Patrol. That's a really excellent couple of episodes there as well. I really liked all the characters very much. I thought all the actors did a great job in getting over what was going on with all the Titans. Now, voice actors are generally older than the characters they play, obviously. But at the same time, they were really in touch with who the characters really were. So it added a lot of weight to the series, in my opinion. The animation is outstanding. DC's animation has always been outstanding. It's the reason why the DC animated universe it rocks. It's the best. If they could ever transfer the animated series into the live action series or their movies, wow, they seriously would give Marvel a run for their money, because Marvel can't do animation worth shit, and they haven't been able to do shit since about the middle of the 90s with the X-Men series. The series ended in 2006. They ran out. The sponsorship was pulled. Mattel was working with Warner Brothers to help sponsor the show. Season 5 ended on a cliffhanger, where Beast Boy thinks he sees Tara, and the way it ends, it's like you're not really sure if that's who he's seeing or not. Well, that's no way to end a series. DC initially had said that was the end of the series, but anybody who watches it knows that wasn't right. and pretty soon DC realized that as well, and they released a made-for-TV movie called Teen Titans: Trouble in Tokyo, and they had that team flying over to Tokyo to fight a villain over there. It was their way of concluding the series because the way season 5 was, it was not an ending. Even today, fans still want this series to come back. All the older fans, like myself, we love this series. We appreciate the silliness of Teen Titans Go. I think the one thing I really wish they hadn't have done, for Teen Titans Go was basically to take the same actors that did Teen Titans and just to turn them silly. It's the same voices, but now they're silly. And I wish they had picked another core of actors to do that, because these folks here could have come back and done another series. But I think it would be hard now for them to do it. I don't know if the Cartoon Network or Warner Brothers would actually go for that. And that's a shame, because this series is definitely the better of the two, despite the silliness, which I love. I mean, I think you can definitely feel the chemistry in the voice actors together, especially Carrie Payton and Greg Sipes. I mean, just it's fun. It's just a fun show. But overall, the series here from Warner Brothers Archives, this is one you want to get for your collection if you're a fanboy. If you're into comics, you're into Marvels, the DC series on the CW. If you're into comic books, whatever. This is essential viewing and owning. I can't recommend it highly enough. I thoroughly enjoyed every episode. They have some great guest voices on here. Malcolm McDowell popped up for a couple episodes. Like I said, Will Arnett popped up. All the usual suspects for DC's showed up. John Maggio, D. Baker Bradley, Lauren Tom, the usual suspects. If anybody who's watched DC's series all know the usual voices. The extras on this are pretty good. It includes some. Let's see if we can take a look at this. So some of the extras here are finding their voices, comic creations, catching up with the Teen Titans. There's a music video for the show, which is very, very cute, and features a guest appearance by Guitar Wolf. That's a smoking video, by the way. And what else do we have here? I think there's a Lost episode on here too. They included the Lost episode, quote. They threw that in there to add on, like a lot of series will do. They'll say, "Oh, I didn't know we still have this in the vault." Well, you do. So all in all, I really like this. I highly recommend it. You can get Teen Titans for the Warner Brother Archives. I'll put a link to that in my review on the YouTube channel and on my blog. You can follow the link from YouTube to my blog and see my other reviews. I've done Justice League Unlimited. I've done Batman Year One. I've done a lot of DC. So, and other animated shows like the Herculoids and Space Ghost, because this is like your first time probably to hear me or know about my reviews. So I look forward to getting some feedback. This is my first review, so be gentle with me on this. I did my best. I'll get better. The Cheetah did not make an appearance. I'm sorry about that, but I will try for the next time. All right. This is Patrick Michael. I'm signing off, and hopefully we'll do this again sometime soon. Peace.